Whoa, almost missed that one. And the camera's nuclear. Not sure why. We can fix that though. Seems like we have to fix this every time. My hair is wild. Hello, everybody. What's going on here? Ugh. It's because I had my hat on. There we go. Whoa. Hope everyone is well. Kind of almost missed the coming in there. I see, Gunky Zip, Synth Chris, Antonio, Jesse, Beard Guy, who we got? Swaffy, Mr. Miles. Oh, super chat. Mr. Miles. How are you, my friend? I've been laying low on the internet trying to get a lot of stuff done, and I have been getting a bunch of stuff done. So it's nice to see everyone. And yeah, Miles, we got to catch up. Jump on one of those WhatsApp calls. Mr. Cosman, how are you? Good to see everyone. Happy Bandcamp Friday. Today is Bandcamp Friday. We're gonna take a look at a few Bandcamp Friday folks, people who hang out in the stream, as well as people who are part of some of the communities. We're not able to play complete tracks. It'll be just like little clips of various things, and just to say, like, good job, keep going, that kind of stuff. There's a lot of folks from the bandless that were kind of cramming on getting stuff done, and it was nice to see. And yeah, some cool stuff happening. Very, very cool. So I hope Bandcamp Friday has been fun for everyone, both on the creating and releasing for it side, but also like going in there and checking out all the new releases. Bandcamp Fridays seem to be have become a thing, and like just an incredible amount of music comes out on Bandcamp Fridays. And Bandcamp is one of the best places to find unique music, music that a lot of times you will never find on Spotify. Sometimes, but a lot of times not. Mr. Nito. It's like neat. Hey, that's Nito. I always want to call you Mr. Nito. Mr. Niato. Mr. Anthony here in the chat. This fine fella, he launched his YouTube channel this past few weeks. And yeah, if you're into guitars and amps and tones and cool amp experiments, Anthony's your guy. Very cool. Very, very stoked for Anthony, because it's been a long time in the works, long time coming. And we all know it's kind of tough to put yourself, it can seem really tough to put yourself out there. It was tough for me to get started on it, and somehow I broke through, but broke through my own challenges. Anyhow, congratulations to everyone who did get stuff out. Congratulations to everyone who is enjoying music on this Bandcamp Friday. I would like to thank everyone with me over at Patreon. And there's a lot of folks with me over there these days. And as well, YouTube memberships. Not as many YouTube memberships. It hasn't been around as long. And I think people just like Patreon more than YouTube memberships. Honestly, for me, Patreon is easier to use for the whole members thing. And whatchamacallit, we've been hanging out there on Patreon a lot. Been able to get a lot of stuff up onto Patreon. Different tiers get different things. If you're interested, you can check that out. But I just really want to say thank you to everybody with me over at that place, as well as YouTube memberships. The top tier of Patreon and the only tier at YouTube memberships are the same place. So yeah, thanks to all of you with me in those places. It's one of the primary contributors to allowing me to focus on just doing music and videos. And that seems to be becoming more and more. I'm starting to find a flow with that. They're going to kick the show off with a little bit of news, the Barry news, because, Barry news is cool. Most of this news comes to us from, from the Baritone Obsessed Facebook group. Let's switch cams over there. Perfect. So this here is the Baritone Obsessed Facebook group. If you're not a member and you'd like to join, it's a private group, so you have to answer some questions to get in. But if you answer the questions, you'll probably get in. That's unlikely you won't if you're interested in hanging out there. A lot of smart people, a lot of talented people, a lot of cool stuff, a lot of good riffs, all of that stuff. Thank you very much to the moderators and admins at Baritone Obsessed for running such a tight ship. They do an amazing job. First item that I want to bring to attention is the Simonet bridges. These are finally coming out, finally making it out into the world, available for purchase, all that kind of stuff, different kinds of finishes happening here. Very cool. But Derek Simonet does the Simonet bridges. And so if you have a bass 6, a Fender Squier bass 6 or a Fender bass 6, and you want to lock the tremolo down, you want to get rid of the tremolo, this is an option. And there's a couple different flavors of this. He doesn't necessarily have a website or anything like that yet. You can find him through baritoneobsessed.com, which is the Baritone Obsessed Facebook group, as well as I'm sure if you just search Derek Simonet on Facebook, you might be able to find him. But yeah, if you're into the bass 6 thing, like the sort of classic vibe or whatever it is, bass 6s or the Fender legit bass 6s, they have that tremolo. Some people love that tremolo, especially if they change it out with a mastery bridge so that the strings don't pop off the bridge. That's a major issue. For myself, I don't like tremolos, and I would prefer to lock it down. And this is an amazing solution, and it looks cool. This is one of the 2 varieties. There's another bridge option with only 1 row of furls or string notches. I don't know what you would call them exactly. But yeah, that's the first item in the news. I thought that was interesting. The second item is Waterslide Guitars. This is a custom guitar company that I have not been that aware of. This model here is the model that I've seen floating through social media that has caught my attention in the past. I don't know if they're a baritone exclusive company, but they do a lot of baritones as far as I understand. And they do some wild stuff. Like, this is wild. So crazy. But yeah, they're doing 28-inch scale baritones and stuff like that. A lot of Telecaster shapes. If you like Telecasters, might be something to check out. I love Telecasters. And yeah, so Waterslide Guitars, they are, can be found on Facebook. Seems as though waterslideguitars.com. Look at that. They have a website and everything. That's wild. I'm going to put it in the chat. If you're curious. I have no affiliation with any of this. I'm just, it's a cool thing that people have been sharing. So I'm going to share it. Thanks to the folks at Baritone Obsessed Facebook group for bringing this closer to the forefront of attention. Next item on the list is J. Douglas guitars. You've probably seen J. Douglas in reverb listings. They're famously in reverb listings. This model here was on reverb for a little while. I don't know if it ever sold. I imagine it did. It's a pretty cool guitar. What else we got? Bam. And usually 28-inch scale guitars and really nice work. totally custom, totally affordable. That was the other thing, just quickly going back to Waterslide. It seems the pricing is very in the realm of, I'm not going to say affordable, but because it depends on who you are and what your finances are, but very normal guitar prices, not what you would expect for a custom guitar company. Same thing with J. Douglas. They do, they do some wild stuff. But yeah, they're famously in reverb listings, and I didn't realize they had a Facebook page. Of course they do. I don't really, besides the Baritone Obsessed Facebook group, I don't hang out on Facebook really. I have a page there and I do a little bit there that way, but otherwise that's it. Let's get out of here. They have a couple different types of models that I keep seeing. A lot of Les Paul style models. Let's see if we can find one. But yeah, 28-inch scale, very classic looking guitars, but some unique appointments. That's their wildest shape. Come on, hook me up, yeah. There we go. Oh yeah, it does a lot of Telecaster style bodies as well, and cool guitars. J. Douglas. So if you didn't know about them, 28-inch scale. I'm not sure what the options are. You're going to have to follow up with them to, see more about what they're all about. But if you were ever curious, next item. I don't know what's up with this. Dan Mass, a member of the Baritone Obsessed Facebook group, shared this. This is a Jackson 30-inch scale dinky, or soloist rather. Is it a soloist? Yeah, it's a soloist. I'm really into this. I would love this gray one here. Wow. What a crazy thing. 30-inch scale soloist. Yeah, please. I don't know if these are mock-ups or if these are actual guitars. Yeah, unbelievable. It's funny. It's weird that this came across my plate the past little bit, because I had a dream about this recently, like probably a week ago. I had this dream and I woke up in it. I was like, wow, wild. But yeah, 30-inch scale soloist. I'm into that. That's cool. Don't know anything about it. It's like, it seems to be a custom shop thing. I don't know if it was ever made or if it's a mock-up that might be made or what. Not sure, but I thought it was cool. And I think, is that all we got for news? I think that's all we got for news. So yeah, Baritone news, some cool stuff happening. Once again, if you're not a member of the Baritone Obsessed Facebook group, and that's something you're interested in, baritoneobsessed.com gets you there, or just search Baritone Obsessed on Facebook group. It'll get you there. You got to answer the questions to get in. But if you answer the questions, you're pretty much guaranteed to get in. So yeah, that's a cool thing. Lots of news there always. Lots of people doing builds, lots of sharing on that page. It's pretty incredible. So, I'm going to take a look at the comments here quickly. I'm going to do it a bit differently today to try and kind of keep up with it all. Oh, wow. Lots of folks here. Anthony Nieto, Super Chat. Hello. Thank you very much. Here's to Sick Hangs. Love all the awesome music released today for Bandcamp Friday. Rock on all. Yeah, totally. We're going to take a listen to a little bit of stuff on Bandcamp Friday, and we're going to just sort of check out some other things. Copyright is a tricky thing, so we have to navigate the music that way. Like I say, we won't be listening to full full tracks or anything like that. But yeah, a little bit of news about the channel, before we get to any kind of comments here, is the channel, well, the live streams and the channel. The live streams are going to a monthly, and starting today's going to be the first of the monthly, and it's going to be on this date scheme, first Friday of every month. It coincides with Bandcamp Friday, which is very convenient, so that if friends or pals or people we're acquainted with are doing cool things, we can draw attention to it. We can talk about it. We can share it, all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, the live streams were, as much as I like doing them, they were having a slight negative impact on my channel and also my workflow. And I was coming up with content for the live streams that was digging into produced content and music writing and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, once a month, it's going to be sort of a digest slash talking about the music that people are making, catch up with the Baritone news, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's what's happening with live streams. First Friday of every month. And my pal Gordon says hello. And Gordon is my brother from Croatia. I hope all is well over in that Croatia. Good to see you, Gordon. Maybe if I ever move to Croatia, we can start our own Burgonator franchise there. Not even a franchise. We'll just take the name and make our own Burgonator. Gordon and I have this infatuation with a burger shop called Burgonator. Anyway, Beard Guy, it's very nice to have. I'm looking for work. Here we go. That's very nice to have. I'm currently looking for work. I'm not sure. You're unemployed. Yes. A lot of people unemployed. It's weird. It's such a weird year for that, because for some people, unemployment and all that kind of stuff is gnarly. And then for other people, they've never had a more profitable year in the world. Like if you work in admin or financing or whatever, any of that stuff, yeah, you're clocking mad dollars. It's so crazy. But yeah, hopefully it starts turning around. Lots of vaccinations happening and people being able to kind of get back out there, get back at it. And Beer Guy says, I'm assuming Bunn's voice is a little bit sore after some metal vocal tracking. The thumbnail that I used today for my yeah, whatchamacallit, it's a video grab, like a video still that I grabbed from the last video. And I just thought it was fun. I'm not a vocal guy. I used to actually do like death metal vocals and all that kind of stuff when I was young. I don't think I was good at it. But yeah, no death metal vocals today. In spirit, yes, all day. But yeah, Gord finally made it to the stream. Welcome. I'm happy that you're here. It's going to be late. It's probably 4 a.m. in Croatia right now. So you're like the man. Whatchamacallit. And Cosman says, Swafi on the Bandcamp. Oh, right. Yeah, Bandcamp. And this is what you guys are talking about. So Swafi is asking, I can't see where the thing is. But what is Bandcamp, I guess? Bandcamp is kind of the place if you're like a real music nerd and you're looking for music that is, like underground. And most of it is really well done, like really well produced. Tons of bands that you will probably never find on Spotify or anywhere else. And, when you buy music, when you support an artist on Bandcamp, even when it's not Bandcamp Friday, the revenue goes to the artist. However, on regular days, Bandcamp takes a tiny little percentage and PayPal takes a tiny little percentage. But on Bandcamp Friday, first Friday of every month, Bandcamp says, artists, we're not taking anything. So all you're paying, like the only cut that's coming out of it is the PayPal cut, which is tiny. So it's pretty awesome. And the coolest part about Bandcamp Friday is that it gets a lot of people stoked on both sides to go and hang out in Bandcamp. Artists to release music on Bandcamp Fridays, as well as fans to go in and check out new music and buy new music and all that. I buy almost all of my music, if not all of my music, on Bandcamp. There's a rare occasion, like, I don't know if you guys know the band Battles, but there's a band called Battles, and they, oh, my camera is so weird. Ooh. What's going on here? Whatever. But there's a band called Battles, and I can only find their music on their website. And I don't stream music from Spotify. I'm not a Spotify user or a streamer, really. I tend to make my own playlists in my own player with my own music and all that kind of stuff. And some people would be like, but Bunn, then you can't listen to your playlists elsewhere. I'm like, I have the music I want to listen to on my phone, and I have it on my computers. Good enough. I don't want to listen to my playlist at somebody's party, generally speaking. I want to listen to hip hop at a party. I haven't been to a party in so long. Anyway, no complaining. Oh, did I put that up there? I didn't. I don't think I did. Yeah, Anthony Nieto. I didn't put you guys's. I can put the comments on the screen. Thank you, Anthony. And also, yeah, check out Anthony's channel. He just launched it last few days, last week, and he's getting into some really cool stuff already. So good quality videos and cool topics about guitars, amps, and gain. So get into it. And Jesse brings up the millimetric guitar. Jesse, if you want to see a weird looking baritone, check out the millimetric MGB6. Millimetric is a company from Quebec, Canada. And I've shared it before here on live streams. And I think they're a cool design. Here we go. Millimetric guitars. A lot of people really have a hard time with them. And I understand it's definitely not for everyone. MG6B6 or MGB6. Let's go here. Bam. And bam. Jesse. Got a lot of navigating to do here. And cam and window. Bam. So these are them. In terms of just pure design, not even to do with the guitar at all, I find it really interesting, and I'm just into it in that way. But in terms of playing a guitar, I don't know if I would play these guitars. Maybe I would. It's hard to say without having it and rocking out with it. Maybe it's the perfect Foreigns guitar, sludge guitar. I'm not sure. It's definitely different, definitely disruptive, and I'm definitely a fan of disruption, things that are different. However, I do like my classic kind of styles. I don't, but this to me is like classic in a weird way, in a very design type of way, like a Dieter Rams kind of style of design. I don't know how many of you know about design, but Dieter Rams is like a brilliant, famous German designer that kind of pioneered minimalist, clean, functional design. He designed for Braun and many others. Anyway, so today's episode, do we have a few more comments? I need to just see where we're at with the comments because I'm already way behind. Benjamin, what is this all about? Thank you very much. Hi, Bunn and friends. I have missed the weekly live streams these past couple weeks, but I support the new plan. Thanks as usual. Thank you. Yeah, I hope that the new plan allows us to get into very meaningful content every time, and also to have fun every time. One of the things about the live streams is to hang out and have fun and not be too formal, but also still be meaningful and useful. So trying to ride that little roller coaster line there. But yeah, thanks guys for the super chats. They go a long way. For those of you who don't know, this is all I do. Like I do YouTube and I do music. So, I am pretty upfront about, yeah, like money, generated by all of this stuff is, kind of important. And so I really appreciate when people, help out in that way, because you know, it's wild to me. It's so wild. I'm so thankful for it. So yeah, thank you. What are we going to get into first here? Let's take a look at our first topic. Where's our little switcher board? Oh, I see some cool stuff here. We're going to go back to the comments. So if you're new to the stream, the format of the stream is we talk about a topic for a little bit. We go to comments, back to a comment, back to comments, or back to, so it goes topic, comments, comments to the end. And today, the topics are a little bit different every time. Usually in the past, it was one overriding topic and there was 3 points on it. But today, it's going to be a little bit more variety. So, number one topic for today, number 1 point for today is Bandcamp Friday. And, we're going to get into some of that Bandcamp Friday and what it's all about. And, the Bunn has a Bandcamp, of course. I have a bunch of material on there. Is that all the material I have? It is, on this Bandcamp. But this here is my current release, but we're not going to talk about that first. We're going to talk about other people first. And the first person that I'd like to talk about is my pal Synth Chris. We're going to change camera positions here. I seem to be always clicking on that side. Anyhow, my pal Synth Chris, longtime homie, and just like a guy who's doing his own thing. He's got a Warmoth converted Strat, 28.625 inches in scale. He's got a DiMarzio in the bridge, and he makes crazy tunes. He also, for a bass, he uses a Schecter, one of the 5-string Schecters, the more modern of the 5 strings. I can't remember the model name, but you probably know what I'm talking about. Anyway, we're going to listen to a little bit of Chris's current track, and it's wild. It's really crazy. It's so heavy, and it's like got those wild, weird synths and all that stuff going on. And I'm just like, what? And then the vocals, he always partners with different vocalists and does this cool stuff. Like I say, we can't play the whole thing. It does evolve further, of course. It's cool. He just released it today for Bandcamp Friday. It's crazy and really heavy. And I'm really stoked for him. So, Chris, amazing job. And if you guys are interested in checking it out, I'm going to try and put it in the comments here every time. So that's, I just put his link in the comments. So, and Chris has a lot of material up on the old Bandcamp. So yeah, be sure to check out what he's doing. He also has a YouTube channel and he does cool stuff. We talk about Chris quite often on live streams and whatnot. Next is Tanner Borglum. And Tanner is part of the Bandless Discord, and there's sort of a sub Discord there, like a Bunn sub Discord in the Bandless Discord. Anyhow, Tanner shared a track there today, and we're going to listen to a little bit of it. I skimmed it already. It's pretty cool. Like I say, I can't play full tracks, but that's a good vibe. Tanner, if you're in the stream today, cool rhythms, like cool beats, man. I was kind of floored with it. I was just like, wow, there's some cool stuff going there. I'm curious to hear more material and also hear the material like fully evolve into, a full project. Cause I think this is like your first track. Oh no, there's more. There's one more here. May 20. Oh, okay. Very recent as well. So yeah, pretty stoked on that. Great job. And yeah, stoked to hear more in the future. Next up, we got Marauder Music. And this is my pal Cosman. Cosman hangs out a lot. And Cosman has been, just like saying F it and just going for it. And yeah, I'm pretty stoked for him. He got this up today. it has a pretty big intro and I kind of want to get into it a little bit and I don't want to waste we can only listen to short bits. So I'm going to go in a bit. There will still be the build up, but if we're going to listen to a clip, I want to hear all of it. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, a little bit of backstory. I think Cosman, he's just recently sort of embarking on going at it himself, doing the solo music thing that a lot of us are either interested in doing or are doing. And yeah, it's already sounding really great. And yeah, it's just going to get like so much, I think it's going to progress really fast. So I'm pretty excited for more of that too. It's so thick. That bass tone is so thick. Good job. Next is, whatchamacallit? Electric Meat Puppet. Electric Meat Puppet hangs out and he's in the Bandless Discord as well. For those of you who don't know what Bandless is, it's another live stream that I do weekly with Nick Hill and Stephen Barton. And it's all about being a solo music artist. One of these people who sits at the desk with the guitar and kind of do it all yourself and just kind of going for it. The live stream is all about that. And it has a Discord and we all have our sort of sub Discords in there. Anyway, not sure if we're going to open that up more or not, but for now, it is what it is, and Electric Meat Puppet is one of the folks with us over there. He also hangs out in the streams here occasionally. He might be in the stream right now. I can't see the comments right now, just in case you're wondering. But this did not drop today, but it dropped recently, April 1st. And it's a doomy kind of thing. It's pretty cool.
You believe deeply in your system, and we believe just as deeply
like I say, I want to kind of get into it a little bit. It's like so thick already.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, not an alien force already among us. Alien force.
It does get into drum stuff.
To the Cold War.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order, because the global order is changing again.
Yeah, doomy. Nice tones too. Like, great job on the tones. Yeah, once again, I'm stoked to hear more. I'm stoked to hear it develop and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, lots of cool stuff happening for Bandcamp Friday or in and around this time. Like I say, these are the only things I could find that was sort of in the baritone sort of realm that I could play today that wasn't also on Spotify and all this kind of stuff. I have to be careful about copyrights and strikes and all that kind of stuff. The last thing I'd like to bring to attention is one of my colleagues, my pals, one of my closer inner circle pals that lives here in Toronto. His name is Brian, and he does a project called Gates. And his studio is right there, like right above us. And he uses many different instruments on this, but also baritone guitar. I can't play it because it's on Spotify, and I'll get a strike if I play it. Spotify and all of that stuff. It's published, and so I'll get a copyright strike if I play it. But if you're into sort of like an amalgamation of drones and like sort of more 70s influence prog, but in a more modern kind of doomy context, but it's not doom. It's just like, it's a great amalgamation of a whole bunch of cool stuff. Lots of instruments, lots of instrumentation, orchestration, lots of progression, amazing atmospheres. Everyone that I've shared it with has always been like, whoa, this is wild. So if you're into, being, what do you call it? If you're into checking it out, exploring, if you're into exploring, I highly recommend exploring Gates. They're set to release a full album, maybe even a double album. Yeah, definitely a full album. It's crazy. This is just the single from that album that is due to be coming out very shortly. Very cool. So, we're going to get to the last, but not least, not that. We're going to get to the Bunn. And I released this today. And my pal Artie, Self-Inflatable, he did the cover art. And I just love Artie's artwork so much. He also did a couple of these others. He's done all of the Wetlands, I think, so far. Yeah, he has. That's not what I want. More releases. Yeah, Artie has done all the Wetlands covers so far, which is sick. Oh, look at this. Some people got into it. Marauderous, Mostro, UVU. Oh, that's Anthony. Jimbo Collins and Miles. Ah, you guys are great. But yeah, let's talk more rock. What does it sound like? Enough of that. Anyway, so if you're interested in it, I don't want to beat you over the head with my music, but if you're interested in that, all my links, go do it. But that's what I did today, and I'm pretty stoked on it. for if anybody's interested in the tones or whatever, it is the Squier Jazzmaster Baritone, but in a big 6 configuration. So E1 standard, 84 to 24 string joy strings, and a Ibanez ATK 100 34-inch scale bass, standard E tuning as well. And the tones for it is, let's see here. I just had them up. Bam. The tones are from the BUNNSONICS library, the Wetlands Helix presets, and the drums are the same drum sessions, just all like I made a lot of new drums for this, but within one of these sort of drum sessions, modified to my liking, of course, or to my current needs, I guess would be more appropriate. But yeah, if you're interested in the sounds, it seems like today there's been a little bit of a buzz on like, oh, the sounds are really interesting, or there's just been a lot of comments on the sound of the EP or of that single. So that's all I can tell you about it. I recorded it, mixed it myself. And yeah, if for some reason people want to see a full kind of mix breakdown or a full kind of Wetlands walkthrough of start to finish making a tune type of thing, we can do that one day. But that's that for Bandcamp. That's all I got for today. So we're going to get back to the camera here. We're going to hang out in the comments for a little bit. Whatchamacallit? Synth Chris, love this track. Lots of atmosphere. Okay. You guys are all into it here. Okay. Right. Something I want to do. Bam. I want to put that. So this is Cosman's link if you're interested in checking more out with him or just connecting with him. This is Electric Meat Puppets link if you're interested in his doomy vibes. And this here is am I missing one? Oh, Synth Chris. Right. Cosman. And Gates. Right. I always forget the links. Here we go. And if you're interested in exploring what Gates is all about, yeah, check it out. So all the links to all the things that we were talking about is in the description, or not in the, also, well, it's not in the description. Damn it. And I guess I should probably put this. If you're interested in the Helix tones and all that stuff, how I got those sounds for the today's single that I dropped today, it's all in the BUNNSONICS stuff. Nothing too fancy, nothing too special. But very cool, very cool. Oh, you guys are into the tunes. I love it. Like each other's tunes and all that kind of stuff. Very cool. So comment from Ignacio Domke. He says, hi, Bunn. Would you say that 34-inch scale bass is enough for B tuning? Love the PRS Mushok video. I have 2 of them. Greetings from Chile. Well, stoked that you're hanging out with us from Chile. I think the time zone is actually not too bad. It's probably, it might be earlier because Chile is on the West Coast, isn't it? I'm trying to remember, remember the map in my head. So yeah, 34-inch scale for B on a bass. Yes, I've done it a million times. Right now I have a 34-inch scale 5-string tuned to A standard. It's a custom bass, and it's very, very well made. But I've had tons of 34-inch scale basses tuned to B and A. For A, I really like a 35-inch scale bass. That little bit makes a difference. But yeah, you can do B on 34. You're going to have to up the gauge of strings quite a bit. What a lot of people do is they buy 5-string sets. I think that's very wasteful in today's climate. You can order a custom 4-string set that is cheaper from String Joy or something like that. And yeah, and not have to throw a string away. Unless you're going to one day maybe configure the bass back to, you know, like higher E, regular E tuning or whatever. But absolutely, 34-inch scale bass for standard B or even drop B is totally going to work. Going to have to do a setup, but it's going to work for you, and you're going to be stoked because, yeah. And Cosman says, the new monthly will give something to look forward to. Don't know how you and Nick juggle it all. Yeah, I don't know either. If for a while there, I thought I was losing my mind. I was trying to do everything, and I'm like, I got to do it differently. So, yeah, scheduling. I keep a really tight schedule now, like Google Calendar, Google spreadsheets, everything. Like I know what is happening tomorrow. I already know what I'm doing tomorrow. Like I have 4 tasks for tomorrow, and that's all. I'm not doing anything else. And typically my rule is 2 major tasks, 2 minor tasks every day. For anyone who's trying to do the artist thing, yeah, you got to schedule it if you want to get things done. And Cosman also says new track is slamming. Thanks, man. I'm super stoked on my current, on this new Wetlands track, the Decorated. I'm stoked because it tells me that I know where I'm going with it, because the last track, Bouquet, was also that kind of a track. And those 2 tracks, you know, I want to do more stuff like that and then put it all together in one album once I have enough material. Re-record it all and put it all together in one album. But yeah, pretty stoked on it. Stoked on what everybody's doing for the Bandcamp Fridays, just for music in general. One thing that's been really nice to see in this whole, like doing this YouTube stuff, having these private groups like the Discord and all that kind of stuff. For the longest time while I was doing this, things were all about like, seemed to be more and more about buying gear, like spending money on gear and people just having gear and being like, check out what I have. And I'm like, that's not what I'm about. I'm about like, yeah, gear has a certain amount of importance, but it's more what the gear offers in terms of the specialized use case. And to me, always what is most important is what you do with the gear, what kind of sick riffs you make and all that kind of stuff, or even chill, beautiful riffs. They don't have to be sick. I guess they can still be sick and beautifully sick. But yeah, super stoked to see people creating with their instruments and not just sitting around gassing for other instruments. I understand it, like, until you have some experience with a lot of equipment, you don't really realize it's like that it's not really the equipment, but you got to go through it. And if you haven't gone through it, it's easy to get caught up in like, oh, the equipment is going to answer my problems. Some equipment will answer some problems, but Synth Chris's did show up. Sorry, I just noticed this comment. It did show up earlier. There was a gap between them. I could share them all again at the end. Maybe that's what I'll do. But if anybody's wondering, let's do it right here. Good thing I didn't close any. Oh, did I? Oh no. Okay. Synth Chris. Bam. Synth Chris's link. If you guys missed the first one, that's that one. Those tones. There we go. What's going on with my... There we go. Ignacio, it's 21:48 right now here in Bunn, in Chile, right? Yeah, it's not too bad. That's awesome. That's a very comfortable time. Yeah, stoked. Yeah, we're hanging out with people from Chile, from Croatia, from Idaho, United States, like from all over, from New Jersey. It's so awesome. So Ryotaro is saying, hello, Ryotaro. I hope you are well. I've been looking for RGIB 621 or any other 28 scale guitar forever, but I can't find one locally. What is locally? Where are you? Japan. Okay. Interesting, because Japan is, the land of Ibanez. Lots of 27 inches around. Yeah, there are definitely a lot of 27 inches, especially in Japan. Want to tune to G standard. Any tips for importing? Not exactly sure. One thing I can say is that buying guitars here in Canada from Japan, buying anything from Japan, is remarkably inexpensive and fast. So it's actually cheaper for me to buy cameras from Japan, and I get them as fast or faster than it is for me to get them from the United States, by a pretty significant margin. So there might be something with like the trade agreement between Canada and Japan. So maybe you can find one in Canada, and it not be, a major cost, because it seems there's like a very affordable sort of trade thing going on between the two countries. So that might be something to look into. If anybody else knows about shipping to Japan and has some insight for Ryotaro, share with him the deets, because yeah, you need that 28-inch scale because it's sick. It's funny, I gave away a Chapman 28-inch scale Chapman in a contest, like in my second year or third year, like after the channel was already quite a few years old, but my second year of the channel actually like going for it, actually being like serious about the channel. I wish I would have gave it to you. Well, I gave it to a cool guy though. This guy, Cameron Lamoth, who happens to be also from Canada, which was great for the shipping. Gucky Zip. So this is actually a cool little cool little tip. Gucky Zips, they're joking around in the chat, and he's saying that he bought Cosman's track. Don't tell the others I paid $3 for your track. So this is something that I tend to do most of the time. At the moment, I have to be careful with my money because there's not a pile of it coming in. But typically when I'm buying music on Bandcamp, an amazing feature is the pay more if you like. And it's very rare that I don't pay more. If it's a 6 or 7 song album and they want $1 a track, I just give them $10. If it's like a 2 or 3 song EP, I give them $5. If it's like a single, it's like I'll usually pay $3 or $5 or whatever. So there's this really cool option on Bandcamp to, kind of support artists in a more meaningful way. It's just such a holistic platform. I just love it. It's very art first, creativity first, and independent commerce first, which is fantastic. Of course, Bandcamp makes a pile of money in offering this service. But if they didn't make a pile of money, they wouldn't be able to offer the service. So thank you, Bandcamp. You're fantastic. And thank you, Gunky Zip, for sharing that little inside joke, because it's actually very insightful for other people, or maybe meaningful for other people. Jesse is saying he's got to go. Have a good night. Rock on, Bunn. Peace. I'm stoked you got to hang out for a little bit, Jesse. Andy, what's going on there? Cool super chat. Thank you, Andy. Hi, Bunn. You were an inspiration for the guitar stuff I used to be into. Keep doing what you do. Cheers. Oh, amazing. Crazy. What are you doing now? I'm curious if you're not doing that, or maybe you're doing that and doing something else. Super stoked. And Beer Guy, I'm glad you guys are here, because I always forget these things. Don't forget to drop a like, folks. Thank you, Beer Guy. Yes, the likes. If you like it, if you genuinely like what's going on the channel, the likes and the subscribes and all those great things help us do more. It's easier for me to do more when there's more of all of that. So if you like the content, I can make more content when there's more of all of that. But we're going to get to the next thing here. Oh, I see another little thing coming in. And I guess we should cap this off too, but my homie Nick Hill. Thank you, Nick Hill, for the love. Highly appreciated. New track is some of your best work. Oh, thanks, man. Is it better than, what was it, Think Tank? The clutch riffs? I know you love that one. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked on this track. I'm stoked that people find it interesting or engaging, seemingly. Thank you very much for the, inspiration and support, or the kind of the motivation more than anything, the brotherly motivation. I really appreciate it. And last thing before we get to the next point, Ryotaro says, thanks, Bunn. Ironically, Ibanez doesn't offer the RGI B621 in Japan. Of course they don't. That's so Ibanez of them. They do this with some of their models, I guess. The target market is not big enough here. Yeah, that's usually, they definitely do a market analysis before they try to do things pretty smart. And Tim Wheeler, good to see you. Hope you are well. But we're going to get to the next little bit here. And that next little bit is point 2, which is self-production series. What is going on there? And the self-production series is, let's get back to our camera angles here. Let's click the correct one. Oh, we did it. We clicked the correct one. So I released this video this morning. And I know that this series is not going to be as tantalizing to the crowd as, things that are specifically baritone guitar. But I kind of realized today, I was thinking about it today, I'm like, I haven't really given the insight as to what the idea is that drives it all. And so I've done this one and this one so far. 4 stages of super low production. What that is, the 4 stages of production as it relates to somebody sitting here at the desk with the guitar, doing it all yourself, and how, the big studio process, how we can kind of pare it down and parallel some of it for our own benefits. And so I talked about the 4 sort of stages, and now I'm in the process of releasing videos that detail each stage. And so far it's been seemingly positive for the people that do find a use in it and all that kind of stuff. But some people are bewildered. They're like, what is going on with this content, Bunn? And the primary motivation for me doing it, being helpful is cool. But I'd like to talk a lot more about producing and recording with these guitars and whatever. But I want to have the foundation there so that of all of these ideas, so that when I make those videos about using these guitars for recording and some of the approaches and all that kind of stuff, that there are foundational videos that we can refer to, that we don't have to, we can make some presuppositions when we're talking about the key topic. And if there's any shortage of sort of insight on the sort of viewer's behalf, they can reference the foundational content in order to make sense of it all. I hope that makes sense. But that's where I'm coming from in making this series, Bunn's 4 stages of super low, and today's video that I dropped. Check this out, little insight. So, oh yeah, it's that one. So watch what hands I'm using. We'll go right to the beginning. I didn't realize this in producing the video until later. Right hand. Right hand. Oh, left hand. Whoa. I was waiting for comments, but I'm like, I think I'll just, I'll comment on it myself because it's funny. But yeah, that's what's going on with this series. What is kind of producing your own material all about? How does the sort of major process of producing records relate to what we're doing? It relates in huge ways. There's a whole bunch of benefits to it. But a lot of people, they just have no exposure to it. They don't have friends who do it, all that kind of stuff. So they're kind of guessing about what the landscape of the thing they're getting into is. So that's the point of these videos, to kind of get people up to speed with those things so that we can tackle topics that are more specific to recording baritone guitars and producing baritone guitar stuff. So yeah, hope, you can weather the storm. But let's go back here. Not sure. Do we have anything else there? Not really on that topic. That's a pretty short one. But I'm curious, like, it seems like people are finding value in these videos. Is anybody in the stream, can comment on any of that? Oh, look at this. I'm seeing my man Apoplexia. Yes, Apoplexia. We covered this a little bit ago, but I should probably say it a lot in this episode. The Bunn Live stuff is going to be only once a month on Fridays, first Friday of every month, for a bunch of different reasons. But yeah, it's a once a month endeavor now. So that might bum some folks out, but I hope that it just makes everything better, and that we have a little bit more of a good time. But hello, Apoplexia. Hope you are well. Hope music is raging. And 13 Flaws saying Saturday afternoon for MMA, but happy Friday to you, cause I guess, is it Saturday afternoon already where you are? 13 Flaws? Yeah, I guess it would be. You're in Australia, right? Wild. That's so wild. Beard Guy is saying, I would absolutely love to have you talk more about production. I feel that content is desperately needed and that your insight and experience being put out there would be invaluable. Oh, awesome. I think when I was walking back over to the studio to do this stream, I noticed some comments. You may have commented about I think you're working on a production. I wasn't able, it was on the phone while I was walking, so I didn't see all of it. But I think you're working on a production for your school or something like that. Let me know. And that, some of the stuff that we've talked about in some of these videos has been useful, which is amazing. That's great. It's the whole point. Oh, here we go. Gunky zip. There's delays in everything, right? It is the internet. It is a delayed, flawed thing. But Apoplexia says, super interesting to get your insight on recording and production since you took part in it on the good old days. Yeah, that's it. Actually, I never really thought about that up until recently. And I'm like, there seems to be some insight into working on tape machines, 2-inch 24-track tape machines, and consoles, big consoles, patch bays, outboard gear, all that kind of stuff. To some people, they're like, oh, that must be so sick. I honestly, I prefer working in the DAW. I prefer working like this. I never want to go to a studio again. I love working like this. I like recording drums. So when lockdown lifts, I'd like to record the Foreign's drummer, Dave, some more and more seriously. But that, because that's fun. But besides that, I like doing everything this way. However, coming from the 2-inch tape machines, coming from the consoles, the big SSLs and the big Neves and many others, Amex and all the rest of them, Otaris. Working on all that stuff gives you the sense of the flow of signal, the signal coming in from the mic, coming in to the fader in what way, and going to the tape machine in what way, like what is happening? How is the signal moving around? It was a very physical experience in terms of understanding that. And to be honest, it doesn't really work any differently in the DAW. It's quite similar. However, looking at the DAW in terms of its parts is very helpful. And I try to talk about that a lot. And in this next Stuck with the Bunn series, we're going to be getting into recording and production, and we're going to talk about a lot more of those things. I think, looking at it in terms of the old school, how is the mixer relate to the edit window? How does the MIDI stuff relate to the audio? How does the interface relate to the DAW? Like, what does it all mean? How does it all relate? And what are ways in which that there can be an advantage in looking at it that way? There is something in the old school thing that I didn't really consider in the past. And it's interesting that you bring that up. Beer Guy says, I actually watch your production videos somewhat frequently. Always good to brush up on the fundamentals. Fundamentals. Okay, Beard Guy. We're making that t-shirt because we can just make it. And it was like, I'll get your address. I'll have it made and only we can have it. That's super funny. Benjamin, I'm a huge fan of the production series plan. There is certainly an abundance of production resources on YouTube's, but your perspective is unique and important for heavy music lovers. Awesome. Okay, cool. So you bring up a great point there, Benjamin, in that I've been skeptical in the past in like really focusing on any aspects of production, because there's so much content out there about it. But something that a few people have shared recently in the last year or so is that a lot of it is hyper specific and finite. It's like how to use the side chain on this $4 million compressor for this one purpose. And it's like not very helpful in terms of the context. Something that seems to be missing is philosophy. What are the philosophies that drive the use cases? And I try my best. I don't know how good I am at translating a lot of these things, but I try to focus on the driving philosophies, the common driving philosophies. Much of what I share is not mine. It's what I learned working in big studios on big productions, and working in my own studios. Like I've owned 3 commercial studios, 2 real commercial studios, and then one kind of half-assed one. And that was an amazing experience to kind of DIY it. You know, everything is on a budget, but you're trying to provide a big time service. So yeah, stoked. I'm stoked that there's some interest in it. The numbers aren't there, but I think the value, like the meaning of it is really there, like in terms of what it might mean to folks. And yeah, actually Nick Hill is talking about that right now. Sorry about the delay there. I have a ton of production techniques and they never do well. And he says do them, but I do them because they are helpful. Also, my typing blows. I love your typing. It's like, you know, it's it's frantic and wild. Beer Guy says, Nick Hill, dude, I love your production videos. I'm in Studio One user. Okay, you guys are all all into it. Nick Hill, I love your videos on production. See, yeah. Something I'm doing this year is I'm not focusing as much on the numbers and focusing more on the things that I'm excited to make and the things that I think are important to share. Those are my 2 driving philosophies, like things that I'm excited to create and things that I think are important to share, you know, and trying not to steer people wrong or trying not to steer them into a more complicated kind of situation, which is easy to do. And 13 Flies. He confirms it is like midday in Australia. Great. And it's probably nice and warm. Maybe it's too hot. I don't know. It's dead of summer there. Or I guess you're going into fall. It would be autumn in Australia right now. Or going into autumn. Yeah, mid-autumn. Wild. Don't you guys love that word, autumn? I just, for some reason, I've always loved that word. And it just, thinking of it, it makes me like yearn for autumn and to wear a sweater and walk around in the leaves and, you know, look at a pretty girl that is my girlfriend. Wild. Barry Processor. That's your, you know, highly processed name. Barry Processor, thank you. Yes, I always forget, as I always say, and I feel like I can never say it too many times. The likes and the subscribes and all that stuff. If you like what's going on the channel, they help everything out. And interesting idea here. Gunky Zip says the fun thing will be when all our digital files will be obsolete and unreadable. A new dark age where our knowledge cannot be passed on. That's an interesting idea. How digital potentially cripples the future. Because so much data is archived on such volatile systems, potentially volatile. So wild. I've never really dove into that topic from that macro kind of view. Wild. Nar Antlers. Nar Antlers is new to the crowd. No, Nar Antlers is a old school homie. I'm not going to give him up though. He's gone covert. He's gone Black Ops under the radar. You know, trying to get trying to smuggle the knowledge. Great track. I'm glad you're back. I totally get the once a month schedule. It must have been hectic prepping for a weekly stream on top of creating. Eventually, I'll have stuff to share. Yeah. It was a little too much. So something's got to give. You hear people say that all the time, you know, something's got to give. And it's like, well, yeah, bunch of things had to give. Stoked that you guys are mostly, positive about it all. And Gnar Antlers, yeah, get some tracks together. I know you're working on them. I know that you're not like super psyched on your drum stuff, but it's coming along. And get going on that Bandcamp thing. I like what you're doing. I like your styles and vibes. So, have fun, and we can all have fun with it with you. I'm stoked for it. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. I think I already said thank you, but I can't say thank you enough times. And Benjamin also found your production vids, Nick Hill, and I think your excitement in Bunn's plan is because it will add to a scarce and valuable resource. Amazing. Whoa, all my button pressing. Very, very cool. I'm stoked. I'm going to move to the next topic, and then I'll kind of double back through the comments. A lot of folks here. Jimbo Collins, how are you, brother? This guy bought the whole Bunn discography today on Bandcamp. I'm just like, what kind of wild animal are you, Jimbo Collins? The kind of animal that dreams of pumpkin spice lattes? I'm going to get one of those pumpkin spice lattes. I don't think I can. It's going to be summer soon. But yeah, we're going to come back through the comments. Here we're going to get to the last topic, and it's a pretty small one, so it shouldn't take too long. And it's the PRS Mushok video. A lot of people saw that. Video did pretty decently. And let's choose the right camera here. There we go. Great. So what do we got here? I think a lot of... Whoa, it's loud. Okay, great. I'm not going to go too far into it. You're like, I already saw this video, Bunn. Not exciting. A lot of stuff about, well, not that much stuff. Number one thing that has come up many, many times that I forgot to include in the video, and I'm going to include it now. I've included it in a bunch of comments and DMs and all that kind of stuff. But the tuning of the guitar is A standard. I don't know why or how I forgot to include the tuning. Maybe I did. I don't know, or maybe people just not catching it. But yeah, it's A2 standard. And that's the other thing. If I did talk about it, I may have said A1 standard. It's impossible. It's A2 standard. And it's not that low. But this guitar is like, I feel like it's the perfect guitar for A2 standard. That 27.75 inch scale, amazing. So yeah, 27 works great for A as well. But I just have this love. I have a 27 here, but I find the Mushoks magical for A. And that's a thing. I forgot to include that. I'm sorry. Something else of note that I have not publicized in any big way. Not that I need to publicize it. Like, it's not a sales thing, but I haven't made any videos on it yet because I just haven't had time. But where did I put it? Right here. Bam. I released with that video all of the tones. So if you like the tones in that video and you have a Helix, any Helix, could be Helix Native, could be the Rack, could be the Helix Stomp. All these tones work on all of the Helix devices. All of the Venns sounds are available for Helix to play in the DAW with the built-in cabs, as well as without cabs, so you can use it with a power amp or an amplifier. I've shared quite a bit in Patreon, like the BTS stuff of Patreon. I can't remember. Landing Venns, some of these things. Yeah, I've shared a bunch already there. And sometimes I forget that I'm like, oh, I've already shared that. And then I don't include information in a produced video when I only ever included it in a BTS video. And it's confusing and hard to keep track. So if there's information that is missing, drop a comment or something like that, and I'll try to get to it. Comments have been very difficult to get to because there's so much on top of, there's just so much to do, but I try my best to get to all of it. Let's get out of here. But yeah, thanks to everyone who, this video did pretty well. And thanks to everyone who watched it and enjoyed it, by the way. And if you don't know Venns, it seems like a lot of people don't know what Venns is. They're like, oh, what are these crazy riffs? It's my oldest project. And it's been difficult to keep up with it because I want to do it with the vocalist, my friend Theo. And we'll just play a little bit here of Champagne. Champagne's a killer tune. It's crazy. It's totally crazy. And yeah, the Venns riffs are really interesting to me, fun to me. They're fun to do. They're interesting to work with. It's a very different philosophy that drives Venns, although there are some Bunnisms that you will find in it, of course. But for folks who, for the first time heard Venns in that Mushok video, it's been around for quite a while, and it is available on Bandcamp. This is the EP that tune is from. It's the last tune on here. Yeah, blast beats and double kicks all day and weird riffs. The riffing is very simple, but very kind of outside of the standard approach to fast music. There's more to talk about there, but today's not the day. Anyhow, that's about all there is to say about all of that. Try and sum it up quick. And I think we're just going to have a cool old jamboree in the comments from now on. No more news, no more of any of that stuff, unless there's something specific that you guys want to know about. But yeah, hope those topics were still fun. And Beer Guy says, oh, why is everything on the screen over top of the text? Yeah, I'm finishing my final audio engineering project. I'll get my audio engineering certificate from this class. It's half clean dissonant bass jam, half doom sludge. Awesome. That's a sick project to be able to work on in school. When I was in school, there were no, like, DAWs were happening, but the school wasn't outfit with DAWs, and it's not like everybody had DAWs. The school had a few DAWs, so we had to work on production projects when I went to audio school as a team in a full-blown studio, and it was a mess because everybody's trying to compete for time at the desk and whatever, and I just checked out on all of that and buddied up with all of the instructors and ended up working with the instructors in studios after hours or even just skipping school and going and working in studios. So I was very fortunate to have that experience because that was a kind of a special thing now that I look back on it. But yeah, it must be amazing going to audio college now. Because, yeah, you can just work on your own project. Amazing. I want to hear it, by the way. Gordon, have an amazing evening, night. It's night. It's dead of morning now. You can plan better around there only being one a month rather than every week. Yeah, for sure. I think this might be the case for everyone. The live stream kind of burns out a little bit. Doing it weekly, especially in terms of what I have to offer for it. So Another thing about the live streams, for those of you who are just joining us, what we're talking about is Bunn live streams are now only once a month, first Friday of every month, on the same day as Bandcamp Friday. Bandcamp Friday will continue for a few more months. And the benefit of that is any pals or anything who are releasing stuff, we can talk about it. And I love talking about pals music. I love when my pals are making music. So that's kind of the idea there. And it allows us to kind of be a little bit more casual, but also address sort of specific things as well. So yeah, once a month, first Friday of every month is when the Bunn live streams will be, life permitting. If something weird comes up, then maybe not, but usually that's going to be the pretty solid plan. Other than like acts of God. It's funny, like acts of God is a thing that is in contracts. And 13 Flaws says Fields of Dreams stuff. If you build it, they will come. It's like, it's funny because I've always been the person to be like, yeah, Field of Dreams, like that idea, like build it, they will come. I'm like, never do that when it comes to like business or whatever. But there is sort of this balance. Like especially if it's in a space of disruption where there is no crowd, it could be a product or it could be an idea. It doesn't really matter what it is, but like, let's say something that exists, a concept that exists outside of convention and is very disruptive. Those things you kind of have to build something before there is a crowd. That space is interesting to think about and to research in terms of what other people are doing in spaces like that. Elon Musk seems to be constantly in a disruptive space, which is interesting. But sometimes build it, they will come. And sometimes do not build it because they will not come. Focus on the people first rather than building the thing. I think in this world, focus on the people first and then build the thing, unless you're doing something disruptive where you have to build the thing and hopefully people will come. Bunn's business advice 101. Don't take my advice. And Beer Guy saying, I plan on putting it out on Bandcamp eventually. I've had a band idea for years called Bog Machine. Oh, that's a good name. I like that. So watch out for that. Sick. Yeah. Bog it down. Get gnarly. I'm psyched for it. And 13 Flaws says there is 1 month left of autumn in Australia. So you're at the prime of autumn. Do the leaves change color there? I think it's a different kind of, like the trees and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't really snow. I guess it snows in parts of Australia a little bit, but I'm not too sure. New Zealand gets snow for sure because they're pretty far south. Jimbo Collins says $13 for everything is an awesome deal. I'm glad that you say that. I think so. Of course I think so. I'm going to be a huge proponent. But yeah, I appreciate that, Jimbo. And what Jimbo is talking about is this here cool thing. Digital album by digital, down here, by digital discography, $13 US. So you get a deal on Bandcamp. This is another cool thing. For those of you who are not familiar with Bandcamp, people can buy your whole discography for a discount. And why not? Because that's awesome. You want all of it? Please have all of it. It's super sick. So yeah, thanks, Jim. I'm super stoked on that. Like super stoked. I'm glad you're that stoked on it. Gunky Zip, what is this all about? Bach's cello suite in G major. Is that equal to G0 in baritone? I'm just making up a question. It's a good question, though. I'm not too sure if it's on cello or cello. If it's on cello, it's probably G. It might be the same G. So a cello, typical cello, like standard cello, is tuned to open C, I believe, and which would be C2, and so it would be the lowest G on it might be. I'm not that familiar with cello, but the lowest G on a cello may be G2. And you know, my Ibanez RGIB 6 and 21, they're tuned to G1 standard, and the Dingwall is tuned to G0 standard. And yeah, I don't think the cellos go that low, although there may be cellos that do. But yeah, actually interesting question. I'm not super well versed in classical instruments or Bach. I like things about Bach, but I'm definitely more of a Wagner guy. And for those of you who don't know Wagner, it's usually written Wagner, but Wagner, classical guy, amazing, dark as dark gets. Cosman, cool little sticker, pair character, exaggeratingly stretching his arm forward to offer a cup of coffee. I love reading these more than, because on YouTube, like I'm using a special software that allows me to put the comments on the screen. But if we were on YouTube, if I was doing it through YouTube, I wouldn't be able to put the comments on screen. But in the chat, there is, which is what you guys see, there is exactly that. There's a little animation. So funny. And Gunky Zip coming with the knowledge on how to rock this YouTube life is, yeah, hit the bell. So, you know, when there is new content, I always forget to talk about the bell. I don't think I've ever talked about the bell, which is insane because, yeah, when you talk about it, it helps. But thank you, Gunky Zip. Lingash, am I saying it right? Lingash Levan. Hi there. I am new to the channel. Decided on a RGIB 21 after watching your video on it. Just wanted to say thanks for talking about it. Helped me tons. Amazing. That is the point of the channel. It's definitely not to pedal gear, but it is, I hope, to help folks, you know, make slightly more informed decisions about the tools that they acquire to make sick riffs. And the worst situation is when you get into a tool, whether it be a guitar, a microphone, anything, and you know, the specs would say that maybe it's going to work out, but there's no real world sort of use case to compare it to. And then you're like, it doesn't work for the thing that I want, which is a huge bummer. I've been in that situation so many times because I lived quite a life before YouTube. You know, I'm almost 50 years old. I'm going to be 50 in January. And so I remember just the trial and error thing. And yeah, YouTube is so friggin' helpful. The internet in general is so helpful in terms of learning things and just making better decisions for your own use cases, you know, developing your use case more effectively, more wisely. Amazing. Super stoked that it is helpful for you, because that is a huge part of the reason why we're here. The Bunn, having seen a few vids from Australian YouTubers, there was actually snow. Oh, okay. Snow in Australia proper. I guess it depends. If you're in the south of Australia, it probably gets pretty cold because it's pretty far south. Like, what's the closest thing to Antarctica? South Africa or New Zealand, Tasmania? I'm not too sure. I can't remember. Like, I've seen the map a million times, but it's just not baked in terms of distances. Not terribly important. It's that super familiar cello piece. Yes, I think I know the one you're talking about. But yeah, I don't think it's a G1. I think it's G2. But I would have to go listen to it. And can we listen to classical music? I think we can, because I think it's all free. What the heck is this? Cosman. It's hidden. It's tucked in underneath Gunky Zips. What are you doing? Thank you. Oh, I read this one. Okay. Why is it blue now? I don't know. Software. It's interesting. Isn't it Chile? Chile is in terms of what's the closest to Antarctica. No, definitely Argentina or Argentina, South Africa, or like Tasmania or something. Those are all like the lowest things. I just can't visualize who's the closest right now. I guess Chile is pretty close to Argentina though. Or Canadians treasure snow has visited Australia. Informer Nikki Boom Boom Down. I don't know what that means exactly, but Canadians. Oh, I get it. Like, our snow has visited beloved Australia. It is, our snow is done the trip over there. Amazing. This is an interesting one. Any new metal that you're currently listening to? Yes. Actually, we can check it out without checking it out. I can't play stuff that is also distributed on all the major networks, like major digital platforms, because of copyright issues or whatever. Let's try this. We're going to go to Cam. This is going to be a fun one. So any new metal music, and if we go to Bandcamp Home, bam, can I look at my collection? What do we got here? Yes. Lots of crazy things. So I can't play this, but this isn't that new, but it's new-ish. And I think they recently, oh no, okay. Different thing. Anyway, Fond Limbs is the name of the band. Unbelievable. Like, so crushing. If you're into like chaotic, crazy, crushing stuff. Let's change cameras here. This one. Bam. Much better. So I can't play it, unfortunately, but if you're, interested in exploring, I can share sharing the comments here. Cool metal that I'm currently listening to. Metal, it's like, I'm not really a metal guy, but like heavy music. I'm really into heavy music. Some of it, I guess, would be classed as metal, but I'm not really that fond of most metal, like traditionally things that fall into the metal sound, which is a whole different conversation. It's a stupid conversation. So I'm not going to bother you with that, but, whatchamacallit? Yeah, lots of apoplexia in here. But more heavy stuff. Yashira, really into that. Apoplexia, does that get you stoked? It gets me stoked to see it. Been jamming out. It's like such amazing tunes while I want to enjoy music and I want something that's still engaging. but I don't want to be like smashed over the head with Yashura. But Yashura, amazing. If people are into new heavy stuff, new to them, if you want it punishing and destroying, very innovative. Everything I'm going to share is going to be kind of like pretty artsy. So artsy or non-conventional, I guess, in some way. Snooze. This is actually strangely not very well known. It's pretty mellow, but also very heavy for how mellow it is. It's really interesting. It has a math rock influence, but it's not math rock. And Anup, like a lot of people don't know that Anup has this band, but Anup is the drummer in this band. For those of you who know who Anup is, if you're into the gent world. But Snooze is incredible. Like such a good vibe. It's heavy, but it's not, but it is. Some of the riffs are really awesome. And yeah, it's more mathy and stuff like that. Very interesting. Oh yeah, if we're going to share things, we got to share all of it. Very interesting. If you're into that, I like it. I bought all of these things. Combat Astronomy. I bought this one because I love Combat Astronomy, but that's not the one to buy if you're into, oh, look at this. Some Synth Chris. We already talked about Synth Chris. Oh, Mastro. Yeah. Can never get enough Mastro. This is a homie. I wish I could play this. He's on all the major things, so I'll get a copyright strike for sure. Mastro, also very, very, very creative, brutal, amazing. A palette from Argentina, lives in Argentina right now. He was maybe in the chat earlier, maybe not. He is in the chats frequently. Awesome guy, Lucas. And I kind of went over this. Like, I feel like everybody knows this, but maybe you don't. But this is Simon Sludge. Whoa. That's okay. It's going to work. Nightmare is the band. Very creative, brutal, very creative. Everything I'm sharing is very creative. But I feel like everybody knows Nightmare, but maybe they don't. Every time I assume that kind of stuff, it seems like I'm always wrong. Garbage Face, Combat Astronomy again. There's lots of cool stuff I could share. A lot more Mastro, very cool. More Mastro, more Mastro. I'm trying to think of things that are heavy kinds of things. My pal Cairo. Cairo is just a good dude. And this particular tune is not like officially a tune, but I just love the riffs in it. I don't think this is actually distributed. I think I can play this. Very cool. I'm not going to play too much of it, but that's cool. It's kind of mellow, but kind of heavy. It's like, super low tuning. But yeah, lots of cool stuff, man. There's so much amazing music on Bandcamp, like unbelievable. At the Gates, like all the electronic stuff, all the math rock. I don't know if you guys know Capsule. I can't play that. Oh, actually, no, I can't play this. I'll get a copyright strike for sure. But Capsule is friggin' cool business. It's like heavy, but not like brutal metal heavy, but it's really heavy. It's really inventive, very unique, very, very much their own sound. Almost everything I'm sharing, it has its own sound. Anyhow, I'm going to stop with the sharing there. That ought to be enough in terms of weird stuff. Bam. So Andy, I hope that there's something interesting in there for you. And anybody else, I highly recommend checking out all this stuff. I find all of these things very inspiring to create and to look at music from a different angle. And that's maybe the biggest takeaway for me, as well as it just being purely delightful to listen to, even though it's like a hammer smashing over your head sometimes. But very, very, very cool stuff. Yeah, this is super heavy stuff. Anup Sastry. Yeah, Anup Sastry plays in Snooze. And that's a weird one because it's like heavy but not heavy. Very unique sound. Very, very like fun listen. Well produced. Anup produced it. Cool stuff. Anup Sastry. Jimbo. You're such a mean guy. Intervals. Yeah. Aaron lives here in Toronto. Crazy. Yeah, the world is very small. Saw him live in Austin. He said hi to him while I was in line for the venue, and he was outside smoking a cig. Don't think anyone knew him. Yeah, it's interesting. He Anup early on started doing the YouTube thing. It was just him, and he was doing like drumming to his own MIDI compositions, and it was clear that it was early YouTube, so it was an interesting time, really interesting time for YouTube. But it was very clear he was a good drummer, and he was good at production and all that kind of stuff as well. And Aaron at the time, he had a band locally here, and he was pretty frustrated with doing the band thing and trying to do it that way, trying to get out there as a band, being part of a band and managing everybody and all that kind of stuff. And so he's just started doing it all himself. Intervals was just him, and he did one track, and it took off quick. And he's like, I guess Intervals is the thing I'm doing. And people at certain level of playing ability and popularity on YouTube, they tend to end up knowing each other, and they ended up talking, and came up to Toronto, and they rehearsed, and then they went on tour and played shows and all that kind of stuff. Pretty wild. And that's probably how Anup got, cut his teeth, got himself really out there. He was already out there a bit on the YouTube stuff, but it was Intervals blowing up and everybody being like, who are these guys? They're really good musicians. Pretty wild. And I'm stoked that you are stoked on it. There's so much good music out there. And I get stoked when people share new stuff with me. Oh, I'm also seeing YLVA and Stay Asleep and Mare. There's so much here. Oh, I think I know what I'm going to do for next Bandcamp Friday. Yeah. Anyway, a hammer smash face full of goodness. Amazing. Stoked you guys dig it. Beer Guy says, if you haven't checked them out before, I highly suggest peeping out Thrones, Joe Preston's single band project. Very creative and wild, but numbingly heavy. I don't know Thrones. I'm going to look it up right now. So let's change cameras. Bam. Thrones. Like how fast my typing is. Is it artist? Ghost Child. Thrones album. Released. Not sure. This might be another. This says hip hop, trip hop. No. Throne, Portland, Oregon. Metal. Old metal. I'm not finding it. Apologies, beard guy. I'm spelling it wrong. Thrones. Yeah, right. Portland, Oregon. Here we go. One Man Metal. Cool. I won't be able to play it for sure. Copyright strike. But what does it say? I think I got the right guy. He's recorded at More Sound. Big Debbie. Blah, 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 blah. Doesn't say. Oh, Daniel. Find his recordings here. He doesn't share his name. I think, is this the right one? Beer guy, let me know. But bam, Bandcamp. We'll just kind of keep that on Stoosh. Not sure. But very cool. I've been looking for an SG for me. Anna, solo album Ghost. Jimbo is saying, whoa, what happened? Oh, man. My graphic design software just launched. I guess I clicked on the dock. That's funny. But yeah, Ghost was one of my best finds on YouTube. Wild. I didn't even know about Ghost. Maybe I do, actually. Thinking about that a little bit further. Pasted the riffs around. So this, I think he used actually a MIDI guitar suite. Like the MIDI guitar stuff is actually pretty good now. I know what you're talking. I have heard this. And yeah, the guitars sound very digital because I'm pretty sure they're all sequenced MIDI. But they sound pretty good. Like they sound close and like they get the ideas across. And clearly he has interesting ideas. And I think that's the most important part about it. He's a great drummer. He has a great groove. Yeah, everybody agrees. Great drummer. The LF Sexton. Is this the Brad Sexton? Or maybe another Sexton? But hello, LF Sexton. You got an RGIB6? Yeah, that's pretty lucky. They're so coveted. Like people hold on to them. I'm surprised we're not seeing like major escalation values in RGIB6s because it seems like a lot of people want the RGIB6 way more than they want the RGIB21. And something I've discovered recently is that the RGIB21, like mine has a gigantic neck on it, but there are models out there with not gigantic necks, just normal necks, closer to my RGIB6. So yeah, Ibanez doesn't seem to have a priority with quality control and all that. Although I don't think the RGIB6s ever had super gigantic necks. I've played a whole bunch of them and a lot of different necks over the production years of their existence. Or over the production cycles of their years available. But, yeah, the RGIB21 that I have, the neck is unbelievably big. It's like inhibitively big. And people are like, oh, I play Gibson bass. I'm like, I've played those, like the 50s Gibsons. I've played all of those. I've played P basses with 2x4 for a neck. This RGIB21 that I have, it's like that. It's wild. I thought that's just how all of them were, but they're clearly are not. And Apoplexy is confirming he has an RGIB21, and his also has a baseball bat neck. And beer guy track Nostos Algos. I can't copy and paste out of this chat. Damn it. I'm gonna make a note. All right. Noted. I will check it out. we're going to wind her down in about 3 minutes, gang, because, yeah, it's almost, almost 2 hours. Will be 2 hours and 3 minutes. So we're going to wind it down. In the wind down, I'll hit this because this is new folks. I like chips and salsa. Good to see you. Haven't seen you for a little bit. I've been away as well. Hope you're well. Hey, Bunn, would you ever consider making a video similar to your baritone scale length guide, except for basses? Yeah, absolutely. All of those things are on the docket. And some of those older videos, I'm going to make newer versions. Prettier. Some of them were kind of haphazard. And B, much more detailed and informative, and more of the driving philosophy behind some of the information. So yeah, that's probably going to happen. It's definitely in my notes as like something that a video that may get made. I just don't know when exactly. But yeah, stoked that you're into that. I think it's an important piece of information, and I think it needs to be updated and, shared in a much more stringent, like, this is what's going on with these ideas and these numbers and all this kind of stuff. Like, really get into the info of it. Some people have a really hard time with that information. Some people find it incredibly useful. So kind of approach it with all of that stuff in being considered. And the PRS, LF Sexton is saying the PRS has a prohibitively fat neck. Yeah, it's like, I've heard that. Mine is a dream. I've had all of them at different points. Like, I've rented the other ones, but the SEs, the 277s, but the the Mushok, I have it right here. This Mushok has a totally slim neck. It's one of the slimmer necks of all of my baritones, and it's magical to play. Like, I can kind of shred on it. Not shred. I can't shred. Sometimes I sneak a little bit of shredding into my behind the scenes videos, and it's comically bad. Anyway, interesting that you had an almost unplayable one. It must be a weird factory defect, because yeah, mine is butter. Like, it's, like I say, one of the slimmer necks that I have in my whole collection. So that's wild. I've never heard of that. I'd love to see it. And I like chips and salsa. Awesome. Yes. I'm stoked. I'm going to make it. I'll make that video. But we're going to shut her down. It's 11 o'clock. I would like to take a moment to thank everybody with me at Patreon and YouTube memberships. There are a lot of folks these days in both places. It means a lot. Kind of changing the format of what we deliver to everybody in those places. Giving more to people who got less before, and just kind of changing how it works a little bit. We did some polls recently to see how people felt about things, and yeah, we're going to change up how it all works, but make sure that everyone is happy. And something I'd like to figure out more is how to be a little bit more of a community in the Patreon. We have a little bit of that, but I feel like Patreon tools could be a little bit better. Same thing with the YouTube membership tools, but I don't know. It's totally awesome. So thank you to everyone who's with me at those places. Oh, let's go back to the camera here. And also, if you're interested in anything that's going on with Bunn land in any way, the links are available. I think it's in my description, like the actual video description. You can find the links, and it'll go to this little link tree thing here. And yeah, it'll take you to all the cool places. So yeah, thanks to everyone who was hanging out in the stream tonight. It was good to see a lot of you. A lot of us, we get to hang out frequently, and I really appreciate it. I really enjoy it. And we'll hang out some more. It won't stop. But yeah, like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I fail to say that. So it's one of those things you're supposed to say because it matters. It makes a difference. But hope you have an amazing weekend playing riffs and an amazing month writing riffs. Hope you're writing, hope you're playing, hope you're learning, hope you're enjoying music. And we'll see you on this thing in a month. But between now and then, I'll be dipping into band lists and the Facebook group and Patreon and YouTube memberships and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, have an amazing time, guys. We're gonna shut her down here.